Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you on how to view the different topics of a subject and the specific objectives. So the subject that I'm going to use is physics. So these are physics topic. So when I select here, so where we have the yellow cell, we have the different topics in the drop-down menu. So these are the different topics. So starting with the general objectives up to electronics. So if I select any of the topic, then I get the specific objectives and the content. So just like you can see here, so select and you have the different topics, and also the format change automatically. So this is a conditional formatting, which I will show you. So how is this one done? So to see how this is done, so let us close this workbook, and then we start from the beginning. So let me close this workbook. So let us save and then we close. So this is a new workbook, so with the topics. So these are the topics in physics. So as you can see, from general objectives to electronics. So then here I have the content. So where we have the topic and the objectives, and also the content of that, of the subject and the topic. So these are the topics which are in the second row. So in each topic, so we have the objectives. So for example, for sound, we have this as the objectives and the content. So to start with, we'll create a name range for these topics. So we shall select the entire column starting from the header, which is reading topics. So Control Shift down arrow to select. Then click on formulas. Then click on create from selection. So the top row. So the top row is where we have the header, that is topics. So then click OK. So by doing so, we have created a name range. So let us see that name range. So press Ctrl F3. So this is the name range. So if we select here, so it will select all the cells, as you can see there. So let me close that. So the next thing we are going to do is to get the name range for all these topics. So that is starting from general objectives to electronics. So that way. Now, when creating the name range, in the name range, we normally don't have the space. So for example, here for general objectives, we have a space here. So we shall need to remove this space so that we have it reading that way. So general objectives. So to do that, we shall select all the topics in the second row. So Control Shift right arrow, then press Control H to replace the spaces. So to replace the space, so we just press the space bar. Then we replace with a backspace. So we press backspace, then replace all. So that replace it has replaced only one. So let us select again So let us select the row there, then Control H. So then press the space bar. So you press the space bar once, then backspace, then that is replaced with backspace. So replace all. So that replace 113. That is spaces. So then click OK. Then close. So if you look now, for example, photoelectric effect, here we don't have space. So then we have electromagnetic spectrum. So there's no space. So then now we can create a name range for each topic. So to do that, select the entire content. So for example, you can press Control asterisk, or let me select that is the starting from the second row. So Control Shift right arrow, then Control Shift down arrow. So check to see whether you have selected all of them. So let me start again. So press Control Shift right arrow, then Shift down arrow to the last content. So that is the last content. Then Control backspace to go to the top. Then click on formulas. Then create from selection. So we want the top row where we have the header as the topic. Then click OK. So that way. So now we have created the name range. So which are the topics. So here are the name ranges. So for example, if I select electronics, it will go to the last column. So click electronics. So it goes to the last column. Then if I click, for example, magnetism, so we have it. Or we click rectilinear propagation of light and reflection. So then you can see that topic here, and so on. So now I want to get back the topics with spaces, since we have already created the name range. So to do that, I can get these topics. So starting from general objectives, so Control Shift down arrow, so Control C to copy, then select A2, the cell A2, then Control Alt V, then E to transpose. So that is transpose. Then click OK. So we have our topics. So if you want them to be red like they were, so you can click here and select red. So those are the topics. So let me put the borders. So click borders. So now we can create a worksheet. So that is Shift F11 to create a worksheet. So in this worksheet, so this is where we shall now get the drop down menu. So let me make it a bit wide. So then I can color this cell yellow. Press Alt DL, that is Alt DL, Tab L tab, then press F3. So we want to get the topics as drop down menu. So that is topics. So we have topics there, then click OK. Click OK. So now we have the drop down menu. So those are the topics. So then to get the topics, that is when we select this cell and then we get the topics, the objectives. So we can use that is substitute. So that is equal to substitute. So we are putting substitute so that if there is any space, like for example, let me select a topic which has spaces like this one. So it will remove these spaces, since in the name range this topic does not have spaces. So as you can see here, so we have the topics but no space. For example, cells, this one, but here there is space. So to remove that, we use the function substitute. So that is, substitute is a function in Excel. So then, as you can see, the function is here. So press tab key to select it, then select the cell A1, that is now our text. So then comma, all the text has spaces, so you put the space, then replace with new which does not have space, so that is double quotes without space, then close bracket. So you can see now the topic is given but without space. But we do not want the topic. What we want is the specific objectives and the content. So to get that, now we use indirect function, which will make reference to this name range that is called cells and simple circuits. So you enter indirect. So once you see it, you select it, then press tab key, then close the brackets, then enter. So it spills over. So it spills, but now as you can see, it is going up to the 20th row, because our last row here should be the 20th row. So that is here. So then to ensure we don't have these zeros, so here we can go back and we say that if this indirect with substitute is equal to 0, then return nothing. So that is, you press double quotes. Otherwise, return what? So return the same formula. So we copy the same formula. So we paste here. And then we close the brackets. Then enter. So the zeros disappear. So this spelling effect is only found in Office 365. So if you have the old Excel versions, so we do not have the content spelling, as you can see here. So again, to ensure there is no error, so for example, let us clear this cell. You press delete. So you can see there is some errors. Oh, that is, as you can see here. To ensure we don't have that, so we shall say here in the formula that if error, So return nothing. So you press double quotes, close brackets, and then enter. So then let us select any. So you can see the topics now. And if we delete that cells, so everything clears. So there is no error. So let us select. So to make it even look better, so maybe we can have a new font. So for example, here we can select and then so let me select all these cells up to maybe the 20th one or the 21st. Then we can use Times New Romans, that is Times New Roman, then press enter, and then we can make it bold. Then here we can have conditional format. So before we go to condition formatting, so I want to use the function mode. So mode, or let me start with row. So row gives us that is the index, that is the row index, or that is the row number. So this is a formula in Excel. So if you enter, it gives you the second row. So if you copy it here, so let me undo that. So if you copy it up here, it gives you the first row. So if you copy it down, so it gives you all the rows as shown here. So then let me remove that, or let me leave it there. So there is another function which I will use in the conditional formatting. So that is the mode. So mode is simply the remainder. That is when you're dividing a number by a divisor. So the remainder is what we call mode in Excel. So for example, if you divide maybe 15 by 6, so that is comma 6, which is the divisor. So what is the remainder? So the remainder will be 3, because 6 goes 3, that is 2 times 2, 15. We remain with 3. So let us see, for example, when you divide 7 by 2, so we expect to get a remainder of 1, and so on. So how shall we use that? So we shall use it together with the row. So that is, we put mode, then the row. So the row here is 1, so we shall divide everything by 2. So we expect to get that is 1, and here, since there is no remainder, we get a 0. Then here we get 1, and so on. So that way, so it will be 1 and zeros, and so on. So let us now go to the conditional formatting. So we select these cells and then click on conditional formatting, then new rule, then use a formula to determine which cells to format. Then here you enter, that is mode, in brackets row, first bracket, close bracket, then comma, comma 2. So then here we say if if A2, so we put the dollar sign, so because we are only having one column, so we say A2, so we shall not lock the row, so we lock only the column by using the dollar sign. So we say if A2 is equal to nothing, so return nothing. So we use double quotes to do that. Then otherwise return mod row with 2. So that is the row is the number, then 2 is the divisor. So close the bracket, then select the format. So we shall fill the cells with this color. Then our font will be regular. So if you like, you can select italic, bold, and so on. So here I'm going to select regular. We shall use black color. Then click OK. Then click OK. So that is how you get that format. So now if you select any topic, so even the format will be dynamic. So as shown there. So let us select, for example, magnetism. Select any other topic. So for example, linear motion. So as you can see, the format is also dynamic, and so on. So this will help you to select the topic without searching or scrolling or going through a book. So this will be more convenient. For example, if you have Excel in your mobile phone, you can also use it, or maybe in your tab you can use this to check the different topics and the specific objectives conveniently. So thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe. So see you in my next videos.